So for those of you who don't know, and those of you who didn't know that we were having a special guest, we've got Dan Dolan. And Dan, I think you're from Dallas, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Dallas, Texas, Millionaire team member, first line to our buddy Jason Nemes, the Nemesis, aka Tatted Prez, who rocked Montreal last weekend. The guy was awesome. So Dan, we're very excited to have you. We know you're going to rock the house. So Dan, this is a Q&A. But, before we really get into the Q&A, I'd love for you to introduce yourself, kind of give us your background and your story. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, so real quick, again, my name's Dan Dolan. My wife and I started this business about 5.5 years ago. And really, I was the one that stepped into it first. I used to be an architect. My wife was a dental assistant. Both went to school, did the whole career path thing, got jobs, and were miserable. She worked for a terrible boss. I worked for a terrible boss. I gained about 50 pounds. And we were looking for a way out, more so myself at the time. But I jumped on the product. Jason hit me up. I didn't even know Jason beforehand. So his girlfriend worked with my girlfriend at the time, now wife. That's how we got linked together. And I lost 40 pounds my first 2 months. And I cut cardio because I wanted to test it. So if y'all go on our Facebook, I post it pretty often. That's what sold me. And so my wife was not yet sold. She was like, yeah, whatever, you look good, but you're too happy, blah, blah, blah. I was like, I'm going to quit my job. Let me see what I can do with this. She was not about that, but I quit anyway. So if you guys have some spouses who aren't on board yet, I don't necessarily recommend that. But I always talk about, Brad Harris brings up, it may be things that you wouldn't typically do, but had you not done them, where would you be, So super glad I jumped. 3 months later, I got her to our extravaganza. First night there, she quit her job. She's not the spontaneous type. So it tells you the power in the stories and getting your people to an event and always showing up and qualifying for everything. So we've made it a mandatory, non-negotiable to always qualify, always do 10K and above, and just run from there. So 6 months in, she quit her job. We've opened a few clubs, which we're going to talk about tonight, in the last 5 years. And man, it's just been an incredible journey. So in the process, we had one child starting out. She was about 3 years old. We now have 4. So the products work very, very well. Just be careful. Disclaimer there. We have a 6-month-old, a 3, a 4, and a 9-year-old. So, man, it's so much fun. We get to build this business around our kids. Everyone in the club, we just moved cities about 4 months ago. The city knows about our kids already. My daughter's 3rd grade class. They're always asking, hey, you going to be at the Shack after school, which is the name of our club, and just really making an impact in our community. And, man, it's nothing short of a blessing.
Awesome. So that's pretty strange or pretty rare that the male typically jumps in before the females.
Right.
That's awesome. Now you're Millionaire team right now, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And Dan, how many clubs do you have beneath you in your organization?
So currently we have 5 open.
Okay.
So we started out very slowly, one at a time. All of my team used one. We moved, the whole team moved, so we didn't even keep that existing one open. And then we moved again, and same deal. We just were having an issue duplicating them without myself being there. And now we've really perfected the model and just jumped now.
Okay, awesome. And how long did it take you, let's say, to perfect the model?
So we came in, with the first club we did was about 5 years ago, where the intention of it was a little more office-based. So they really wanted invite only. If you walked into it, it was like throw up Herbalife in your face. It was green everywhere, product everywhere. I mean, just like hounding people. So doing everything wrong pretty much, Yeah. And it took us about probably 3.5 years to really catch wind of what we need to be doing. And then it took another 6 months or so to convince some guys to jump with me. And that's part of the story here in a minute too, that it's completely shifted our whole business now. It's been amazing.
So it sounds like you've really been doing this model for 2 years.
Yes.
So then we could say 2 years, the Nutrition Club model in the sports bar motif type thing. Is that
right.
What you guys do as well? Okay. And okay, that's cool. That's good to know. So for everybody in the call, it's really 2 years to Mill Team if you pump, right? If you're working hard in this particular Nutrition Club model. Awesome. Yep. That's good to know. Okay, so I was going to ask you, look, what's your method of operation? It's obviously nutrition clubs.
Yes.
Okay, and tell us about how you recruit. We call them baristas. I don't know what you call them, but how do you get, let's say you had your first club. How did you get your first baristas?
So really we have a pretty simple structure now, and we almost reverse do what you would typically do. So we always are doing 3-day challenges every Monday that lead into a 30-day challenge that lead into qualifying people at the club. But in reverse, we actually, so utilizing the clubs, our main method to get people in the club is something we call T-drops. Have y'all heard of those?
T-drop? No, go ahead.
So the T-drop, we just go to local businesses, and you can do this with or without a club. And we go in, we make them, we call it a triple berry, so it's cranberry aloe, pomegranate raspberry, or pomegranate liftoff and raspberry tea. And so real basic, nothing extra. We go serve them and tell them a little bit about what we do. We go Facebook Live and kind of give them a shout out. And then from there, we ask them for a referral of another business, and we just business hop like that. Now, when people start coming in, the main thing in the club is the relationship, the energy, the environment. And people are naturally asking, can we take this home? Can we take this home? I love this. How do you do this? And then we lead them back into the 3-day, 30-day, and again, qualify them based on how they're performing in there.
Okay, so it starts with T-drop, which is your invitation, right? It's your face-to-face invitation.
Right.
Where you're giving something away, so it's reciprocity, so then they have to come back. But tell me, what is the 3-day 30? Tell me what that is.
So we do do y'all have the 3-day challenges or trials up there?
Yeah.
Okay. So we just use the 3-day trial, but we put in the challenge. Instead of 20, it's 25. 5 goes to the pot. You would follow up exactly like you do individually, but they're all in one group chat. So everything that goes in their mouth, they post. And they post and post and post. Everyone's kind of chiming in. So if all, let's see, we got 46 people on this call. All 45 of y'all got 2 people in the challenge. You're looking at 100 people who can play off each other. And then winner takes all. Most body weight percentage lost takes the pot. And then on the third or the fourth day, so we do, 1, 2, 3. Day 4, we do a recognition call. What that call looks like is a few of us coaches sharing product testimony. Then we do a short bullet point HOM. So like your typical HOM, but very short. Like no product training, no market plan training, just like some bullet points on Herbalife. Then we have a few coaches do a marketing plan or level advancement payout type testimonials. And the small ones are great. Like I'll talk about, hey, today I made $350, There's all kinds of different income, but a lot of people have a hard time relating to a bit like a millionaire team check doesn't connect with a lot of people at first. So the small stories are powerful. Then at the end of all that, and it's about a 25, 30-minute call, then we announce the winner. You have to be on the call to win. So of the 100-plus people you may have in a challenge, we've had about 80% retention that stay on the call. And then from there, they almost are all turning into preferred members.
So here's the question then. How do you you do the T-drop or the invitation. How do you put them from invitation into the challenge?
So what we do is since they're coming into the club, our method there is you come in from a coupon. We have a 24-hour promotion. So come back tomorrow, you get an extra discount. And then day 3, we talk about, hey, you've been doing this already. Would you want to take it home or be a part of the challenge? And that's the reason why we do them so short every single Monday. So there's never more than about a 6-day span that you have to wait to put a new person into something, That's always been the issue with our 30-day ones was like, hey, you love our 30-day challenge, but we're on day 2 of this one, so give me like 5 weeks, and then we'll put you in. It doesn't work very well,
You brought up something that I forgot to write down as a question. What do you give away? What's your incentive to get somebody in the door? Is it free shake? Is it 50% off? What is it?
We just do $1 off. So
$1 off.
Crazy, yeah. So Tim Files is our upline. He's all about just keeping it minimal because if it's free and the other stuff works, like we've done free, we've done half off. We find better retention because if we've just given it away with the sample, then it's almost like we're devaluing it a little bit, just like giving our discount to people. Yeah. So we just do $1. You come back next day, you get $2, and it all has to be when they check in. So every time they come in, they have to check in for the discount.
So first time in, $1 off. Second time in, $2 off.
Right.
Interesting, because the Ryan Baker model is first time free, right?
Right.
But that's expensive as hell. So.
Yeah. And that's one thing too. We try to keep it where a new person can come in, a new coach can get behind the bar, and they're not, necessarily losing a bunch of money. But Ryan Baker is a beast. Good dude can pop clubs up like it's no business.
I think we met, by the way, at his house in the sticks. Were you there?
Really? No, I know. I was supposed to go up there with Chris and Jason and all that.
Okay.
I didn't make it out though.
Okay, so that's interesting. So $1 off first visit, and then $2 off second visit. Okay, cool.
And always they have to check in on either Facebook, Instagram, whatever social media you use.
So always check in on Facebook always check in.
Yeah, any social media platform. And I can't tell you how much marketing that does for us. It's
We saw, people flying through the marketing plan with nutrition clubs. We're really getting into the nutrition club model right now. So we've got I think now 3 open, and we're gonna have 500 open soon.
Heck yeah.
Especially after this call. Oh, yeah. All right. So method of operation. Okay. So get back to recruiting. How do you recruit baristas? So for example, you had one club. How do you get additional, workers for the bar? I don't know what you call them, but we call them baristas.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much same thing. So we've tried several things. The thing that we do most that takes a little bit longer, but they're much more sustainable, is we qualify, meaning that we teach them how to hit supervisor before they can even work the bar. And the reason that works well is you got to get the club hopping. So if your club's pumping 100 shakes a day and someone sits in there, they see the money that can be made. So you don't have to convince them to work there. But my biggest thing is, I know I was a terrible employee when I had a job. So if you got someone, in my experience, coming in for just a paycheck, like if you're paying them hourly, to do anything more than like the backhand stuff, washing clubs or washing jars and whatnot, that's another story. But as far as the bar club, the workers, we help them get supervisor using the challenges and the 30-day. And then from there, we bring them in, we teach them, and we do 2 different types of payment at the club. So, for example, once you've qualified, you hit supervisor, we train you for a couple of days. You shadow us, and so the first shadowing, you get $1 of every consumption that you help us with. So as long as you're there, you're making $1 of every consumption. So even then, a new person can make $50, $80, $100+ a day just from helping. The next level we do is a 20%. So of that shift that they work, they get 20% of the profit. And we're having people, walk home with $250, $300 sometimes just from that 20%. And then the third step is now you've got your own product there, and kind of what Ryan does. Now you pay the difference back to the bar. So you use your own square, so it takes the taxes off of each individual club owner, and everyone has their business to show. You get X amount per membership, and the difference goes to the club.
Okay, cool. Can you explain that the first 2 models? I know we know the back end Ryan Baker model. So for example, using your own product, but the first 2, can you explain that in detail?
So the first one, since they are fairly new, Argo, do y'all have DAP to 2K up there? Like the DAP
award?
It's
called MAP here, but yeah.
So we do that, and our DAP to 2K basically is we're teaching them how to get their qualified for DAP and hit their 2,000 within the first 2 months.
We still have 4,000 here for supervisor.
Oh, dang. Man, got to push that up there. So, I mean, regardless, teaching them to hit their supervisor as quickly as possible, because then when they're buying products at the bar, it obviously saves them money. But what I had them doing, and you can have them shadowing you during this process, if they're up there working with you, learning the shakes, learning how to talk to people, they get $1 per consumption sold.
Okay.
So if 100 people come through on their shift, they made $100.
Right.
Yeah. The next level is now they're qualified, they're 50% or higher, and they use our product, but now they're at a level where we don't have to be there, so they can be on their own, and we cash them out at the end, and then we give them 20% of whatever profits came through on their shift.
Okay, so they're using in that one. They're using your product, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So they use the bar product.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, cool. There was one question going back to a previous comment you made. So, are you giving $1 off in the first 24 hours? So, for example, if you invited somebody today and they come tomorrow, and how are you gauging that? How do you know if you invited them yesterday or 5 days ago?
Yeah, as far as their first time, just whenever they come in. But for the next day promo, with the flyer that we give them to come back the next day, we write the date on it.
I gotcha. Okay, cool.
And we tell them, hey, it's a 24-hour promotion. Come back tomorrow, and you get $2 off.
Gotcha. Awesome. Use club product. Okay, Dan, if you can get back to invitations, because To me, look, I haven't run a nutrition club, but I've run a ton of fit clubs, and the invitation is the most important piece. So I don't know about nutrition clubs, but if you can educate us on that.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, like without them, because these franchises of other businesses will pop up, but they have the marketing down. We don't have that. We have to be out there. So we'll set a standard for our guys, especially before opening a club. We're doing kind of what Ryan does: 20 to 30,000 flyers before we even open. And these are the intent of the invitation. Even as you're opening too and going through, and you may be open 5 years now and never ceasing to invite. It's very simple. We have that $1 off coupon. Hey, have you heard about the Nutrition Shack? No, what is it? And just a brief thing, we do healthy smoothies, energy teas. It's awesome. The environment is great. Everyone's coming by. You got to come check it out. And having a standard for yourself of whether it's 20 invites a day, 100 invites a day, whatever it may be, sticking to that for at least 90 days.
What is that number, Dan? What is that number per day?
So my new guys is 20. I keep them pretty simple just to get them kind of get their feet wet. We shoot for 100 a day. And then now the club, the consumptions we have coming through because of just the social media, I mean, we're getting 20 new people at least every single day. And it's from just referrals and check-ins. We actually had a girl, one of my downlines sent me a text today that she screenshotted from Facebook. And this girl was like, am I the only person in Springtown that hasn't been to the Nutrition Shack? And so it's just, I mean, everybody. We're getting people every day talk about how all my friends are dogging me because I check in every day, and then they come eat with me, and it's cool.
Okay, so social media is driven by the check-ins only, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we do our pictures every day, like we'll every day post a picture of people up there and maybe a special fancy shake that day. And even then, we keep it very simple,
Okay, cool. So, but it sounds like it's driven from the Facebook check-in pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Get back to the invites. So you say you require your new baristas to do 20 invites per day and then a total of 100? So from your whole staff, you need 100 invitations? And take me through that invite.
So we do, like an invite, and we're right in between the only grocery store and the only gym in town. So there's never not a moment where there's foot traffic outside, so it's easy. We send people out. I mean, and if you're close, you can point to it. Even if you're not, go everywhere within 4 or 5 square miles. And again, it's just an invite of, hey, have you been to the Nutrition Shack, or have you heard of this place? And now we've gotten to the point where everyone's at least heard of it. But even if you haven't, hey, what is this? Well, it's healthy smoothies, healthy energy drinks, no crash, no sugar, things like that when we're talking about the teas. Just something that kind of sparks their interest. And then getting back to, now, if you can have a 45-second, 1-minute conversation and at least get their contact info, that helps a ton. And then on their second visit, too, are y'all using the POS up there for the nutrition?
No, we don't have it. We don't have it.
Okay, even if you don't, when they come in, have some type of card for their invitation to get their number, and we send them a next day text promotion card also. So even if they don't have an actual physical one in their hand, after they've come in, but this is for the second visit. As far as, again, like the invites, if we can manage, if there's 5 people up there, we're doing 20 a day, 100 a day throughout the whole, then every week you're putting out 500 invites a week, and it's just a numbers game, accumulates from there.
Okay, awesome. Now, can you give us specific, now, from what Jason told us, your invites are all face-to-face, right?
Yeah.
So they're all face-to-face conversation. Can you give us 3 or 4 specific pitches, exactly what you say word for word, so we can take these down?
Okay, yeah.
Christine writing diligently, so we gotta feed her.
So I'll do it slow. They're real short and sweet, because in my head, I'm always like, even if it's the first time I talk to you, I want you to remember what I did 3 months from now, that like all you did was say, hey, can you come try this, But I'll come outside. I had the flyer, so having something is way easier than just walking up to somebody. So
and that's your $1 off flyer? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they're all at the club. But yeah, so it's real simple. Come in, has the name, the address, a little picture of a shake, $1 off when you check in. But yeah, I'll come out. Hey, have you heard of the Nutrition Shack? Or if it's in front, hey, have you heard of it? Have you been here? And they'll say yes or no. What do you do? And it's smoothies and energy drinks. So, hey, have you been here? No. Awesome. Well, we do smoothies. We do energy drinks. Have you eaten today? So that's one pitch. And like, well, no. Okay, awesome. Come in here. I'm going to give you a discount on this first shake. You got to try it. Or if it's, hey, you can see when people are dragging. So the energy one is easy. So you come in and, hey, how you doing today? They say whatever. Have you heard of Nutrition Shack? Yes or no? Well, we do these energy teas. There's 0 sugar, 0 crash. You've got to try it. Come by.
So energy teas, 0 sugar, 0 crash. You got to come in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then another one too. So if you can have any kind of conversation with people, this is where like at least knowing your product is very important. People all the time will bring up they got digestive issues. We're in an area where for some reason a lot of people have had like the surgeries done and different things like that, and they're always having issues with their digestion here. So we start every membership with an aloe. So it's a really easy starter too. You know, like, hey, have you heard Nutrition Shack? Well, no, I know you can say I've had the surgery, I can't eat much, or I don't do that. Okay, well, great. Well, what's the issue? What have you done? So find out their problem, and usually it's some type of issue: acid reflux, heartburn, indigestion, something like that. Awesome. We have an aloe. We've got 3 different flavors. It'll make you feel great. It's like a shower on your insides. You got to come try it.
A shower on your insides.
Yeah.
I love it.
I mean, I keep it so simple, and it's the best way to duplicate, you know?
Okay. What other lines do you have? I like it.
Those are, so we serve in order. We do a 3-step. You get a tea, then an aloe, a tea, and then a shake. And so those are primarily all I do. If it's like, say if I'm at the gym or something, so we do have the gym right next door. Fortunately, all the trainers just send people over now, which is a blessing. But to start that, we went over there, served the trainers, we did the tea drop. But if I'm over there and I'm always got the button on, so definitely don't leave your button at home. It can be awkward, I know, at the beginning, but it's an accessory you need. And so people will ask, or I'll ask them, you know, hey, have you been next door to the Shack? Like, well, no, what is it? Like, we have an awesome post-workout. It's got everything you need, nothing you don't. Tastes like chocolate milk. And so, again, another real simple invite. Y'all have the Rebuild Strength, right?
Yep.
Okay, good. Forget I'm talking to Canada. This is awesome.
Okay. I like, so everything that you need, and it tastes like chocolate milk.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Any other lines?
I mean, that's pretty much it. I just go through those. Again, my whole thing with it is something that they can relate to. It's quick, and, you know, people's attention span is about 7 seconds.
Yep.
So if you don't say something that sparks them immediately, then they're probably just going to be like, yeah, okay, we'll take the flyer, which I've done tens of thousands of those. Jason will tell you, I've probably done more flyers than, man, anybody you can imagine.
So how important are invitations?
Oh, they're crucial. It's the number one thing. And what's great is if you can build this traffic going, and then utilize the social media as a backer, it now is organic. Where we just took this, like a short story with this current club, we just took this club back over. It was only doing about 4,000 volume a month, so not a super high producer. And it's much more difficult to to revive a club than it is to start, especially in a small town, because now people have a name about what's going on there, you know? In 90 days, we came in, I talked to all the local businesses, we blew up social media, and we've literally 10x'd it. Well, we're going to do 40,000 volume this month.
Whoa, really?
Unreal. Yeah.
Wow.
And right now it's me and a couple of our supervisors, and that's it.
So that's obviously tipping my hat to leadership, man. You take that thing from 4,000 to 40. Oh,
yeah.
Wow,
yeah,
good
we'll
job.
close about 40 this month.
Wow, that's amazing. So my next question is, what is your average club do in volume? But it sounds like 40,000.
Well, so, and you know, now the most, man, obviously everything with the club is super important, but we picked this demographic very particularly. So we have a kind of a whole breakdown that we look through here, and it may be different up there. But I like, now population, not necessarily a number, but I like the small town feel. We look for a certain amount of household income. We actually pay attention to the poverty rate. And then we come in, and then it's just connecting with the people. And you know, if all y'all are on this call for reasons, so y'all are doing this specifically to build a business to make an impact on people, so you care about people. And if you can show that, then like I said, after about a hardcore 90-day plan, 6-month plan, the organicness of the club is way, way more powerful.
Gotcha. So we have a couple clubs in communities. Like, for example, I'm looking at Christine. She's right in my line of sight, but hers is like in a small community, NDG, on a street called Monkland. So it can be done there. How do how do you get ingrained in the community? So tell me exactly other things that you do. You must do challenges. What else do you do?
Yeah, so now we were real big with fit clubs in my first club, and we had massive ones, 200 plus, but we were so new, we didn't know how to regulate them. So now what I did as soon as I got back, I went to the first chamber meeting I could. So do y'all have like a chamber of commerce up there in y'all cities?
Yeah.
Okay. So you go to the chamber meetings, get to know some of the main people, especially invite them out, and start we just started talking to people like who are the kind of main people here in the city, and we got a lot of the small business owners coming in, and because of their influence is what really blew it up quickly. But we did the Chamber of Commerce, we did the tea drops, we did as much as we could to really plug into the community. So going to the schools, we do different discounts for like school pickup orders. So we have a group of teachers who will order X amount, and based on how many they order, we get different discounts. Get creative with it. But it's really like finding any way that you can serve them. But if you can really seek out so any other small business owners around your clubs who have any kind of influence at all, if they've been there a couple of years, man, it makes a world of difference.
Okay, that's a good piece of info right there. So you answered, how do you use social media? What else? Okay, so I actually had a crazy question. Give us a great Jason Nemes story.
Great. About him?
Of course.
Oh, man. So how long ago did you meet Jason?
Well, I actually met him at Ryan Baker's in September, and then we were in Singapore together, and then he was here last weekend. So.
Okay, so fairly developed, still intense, though, Jason. Man, when we first got started, like, this guy, so like I said, we only knew each other through our girlfriends at the time. And my wife did not like him.
My wife.
What was that?
No, go ahead. I had to mute him.
Yeah, so my wife was not on board for what I was doing, and especially because of Jason. And he let him know, So Jason, y'all have seen his intensity. Imagine that intensity with a bad ego. Now it's good. It's developed. He's done all kinds of stuff. He's grown a business, but lots of ego before. And he came in when we were first really growing, and my wife just pulled him back. She was like, "I don't like you. You should leave." I mean, just flat out. And he didn't know what to say. And my wife's like 5'1", this little thing, but she's spicy. And so he was just like, I don't know what to do. So he walked out. Now he's weird looking, So he's got this, and he won't tell me what's going on. And then months later, I found out what had happened because Mallory put him back again, and she was like, "Okay, I like you now. We're good. So we can build together."
That's hilarious.
But yeah, he was very intense before. All kinds of stuff.
So actually, when he came, he spoke about how he went crazy in personal development. Now, tell us what you do for personal development.
Yeah, man. So personal development is the most number one important thing. If every single day you have to start with personal development, and a lot of people, especially if you're new, start with Mark Hughes. Mark Hughes was the man. He ran the company. Jim Rohn, another great one. But it's the reason it's so important is because this is a people business, even over product. So if you're unable to respond to somebody in a way that is always going to leave you and the company and them feeling good about themselves, then it's next to impossible to build a business. We came in, I used to have a short fuse. I would react to everything around me, traffic, road rage, all that stuff. But, I mean, you can't build like that. That's where we had so many bumps along the way of growing our business, because if you think a certain way, like a certain person should produce this way, I can do 10,000. Why can't you? I'm at these events. Why aren't you? I got 4 kids. You got no kids. How come you're not there? It's all about being able to relate with the person. And man, without personal development, you just can't do it. So some stuff that I read, obviously, it's like I said, Mark Hughes and Jim Rohn are number 1 and 2. So you need to know these guys like you're your parents, because they know everything about the company and they were just incredible. I do a lot of like different spiritual development. So like Miles Monroe, I don't know if y'all have heard of him, Zig Ziglar, John C. Maxwell, all great guys. And then on the business side of it, so I think that there needs to be a balance. I go Grant Cardone hardcore, because the dude just has like
10x, baby. That's how you went from 4,000 to 40,000.
Right. I mean, and it's so true. And if you can mix the personal development with a business mindset, you win. It's just a matter of time. I mean, that's all there really is.
That's awesome. Getting back to your average volume per club, out of your 5, what's your average volume?
I would say now it's the other clubs now are following me with the new club that I've been doing, and it's getting closer to 8 and 10 and 12,000. But we were so stuck in that old model, and it's hard to shift something that's working, that's good, to really try to make it great and not know, And it really took me moving an hour away from most of my team, popping up this new thing, taking it back over, and just dominating. Put blinders on. But I would say 8,000 to 12,000 is probably average.
12,000. But your other one does 40,000.
Yeah, the one I'm at now, we're gonna do 40 this month.
Okay, so what's the difference between the 40 and the 10? Like, how is that? Like, that's a $30,000 gap.
Yeah, the look is very important. So the new have y'all seen a lot of the sports bar kind of look?
Well,
now?
we saw some of the pictures that he showed, but take us through it.
Okay, so it's basically almost as big a bar as you can handle, because the connection with the people and the feel of the place. So we've got, just like at a bar, there's the water taps, the ice box. We've got the TVs behind us. We're giving them a show while they're getting their drink. You get to build a relationship. So all my other clubs, you got your shake, and then you went and sat, or you went and did a wellness eval, which is great, but you disconnect, So we make it where they rarely even see my back, let alone walk away from me, unless they're staying for a while and they go over to the few tables that we have. So long bar, real nice, keep it clean, has to smell good, has to have good energy, great music playing. So just something like high energy, and always good vibes. Like, the reason that the club was doing so bad before was the guy that was in it. Now talking to all the regulars that were coming previously, it was just, poor me, my dog's sick, my wife's mad at me, stuff like that. And why would you go to that, You got to, when they come in, they want to vent to you. So it's just like a bar. They want to come in and tell you whatever issue it is, just to get it off. You don't have to even really respond. You just make them feel good. You get them turned up on some tea, and then you send them on their way. And then they come back every day.
So give me I know the answer, but I'd like to hear from you. What are the 4 keys to running a 40,000 volume point nutrition club? The top 4 keys.
Top 4, well, personal development in the morning, definitely. Invites, got to get people in the club. The energy in there, so they want to be there. Well, so there's real quick on that, there's a book called The Starbucks Experience. And it talks about how Howard Schultz made Starbucks like the third place. So they have their home, they have their work, and then they want to make their place feel like their third place, their second home away from home. So that all about the energy and then retention. The simplicity in that, it'll duplicate itself. And now, so like I said, we just took this club back over in December, and I've got half a dozen guys looking for spaces right now to expand out in this new area that we're at.
Wow.
So by the end of the year, we're looking to put another 9 clubs out here.
Nice. How important is unbelievable tasting shakes?
Oh, super important. And Herbalife makes it easy. So we're really big about making them really good, perfect consistency, nice tasting. It's not that difficult, and then we'll dress it up a little bit. You'll see some shakes that have a lot that go into them, which is cool. And you can do like a shake of the day or shake of the week or something and go all out. But it's the shakes are really, especially the first visit. If they don't like their shake, and ask them, make it again. Take the $2 hit, make it again, make sure they come back. Because for one, they'll respect that you did that, and now you get their flavor, So you want them to come back, but it's super important, because if they don't necessarily connect right away, which a lot of introverts won't, it'll take them 4, 5, 6 visits, then they need to have the shake taste right, or they need to have the energy get them turned up or something.
So what do? Then you ask them, hey, how does your shake taste? And if they say it tastes like shit, you make it again?
Yep. I mean, I will not let people leave until they try it. They're in a hurry. I'm like, just taste this real quick. Make sure you like it. And it rarely happens, but I've had a couple people, even if they walk out and they trip and spill it, I make them another one. Because again, it's a $2 hit, but you're serving that person, and they're like, wow, they didn't need to do that, So, and it happens way less than you would think. Assuming you make good shakes, but you guys are Herbalife, so they make it easy for us.
Okay, so I'm going to recap. I'm going to summarize what you said about the 4 keys. Number 1, personal development, obviously getting yourself into the right mindset to attract and to inspire. 2, invitations. So you're doing 100 invitations per day, And how many before you open? 30,000, you said?
So goal is 30,000 before you open.
Yeah. Okay, so invites being critical, 100 face-to-face per day. Number 3, energy, so the Starbucks experience. And number 4 is retention. So obviously giving a great experience and they'll come back and
Right.
That's awesome. Anything else? I mean, I think number 5 is great tasting shakes, or that's part of number 4, retention, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the retention really is all of it summed up. Like you said, great tasting stuff, made them feel good. As far as, so obviously, there's almost 60 people on this call, and can I get just everyone real quick in the chat, do like a thumbs up if you already are in a club or own a club? I just want to get like a quick kind of.
Well, there's probably three clubs open here right now.
Okay, so do most of the guys work in one at least, or close to one?
Well, like I said, predominantly everybody's a fit club, but the three clubs that are here are doing nutrition club only. So.
Okay, cool. Okay, I would just say, since it's fairly new, and you can do the tea drops and all the other stuff with the fit clubs as well, especially if you're serving stuff there. But really, and I can send you stuff, Mark. But if you're looking for a space, it's the demographic is really important. Once you get going, after like you're up and going, you got the invites out, you've done some tea drops. The retention of it is much easier if your energy's right than finding the right spot and getting it going. But man, let me know, because anything that y'all need, I'll send you the stuff that over the last 5 years we've really, really buckled down on, and it's shown to be a success at these clubs now. So,
that'd be awesome. Any information you can send would be great. So I'll text you after this call. But you know what I'd like to do? I'm going to ask you 2 more questions, and then I'd love to open it up for questions. So again, Christine's right in my line of sight, so hopefully she has a question for you.
Okay.
So you're a Millionaire Team member. Are you close to 7.5?
We've been close. We went real up. We had a pretty powerful leg fall out last year, and so we've rebuilt that. But man, it's every month since December, we've pretty much gone up about 70% month to month.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you're. What do you? We can talk about money. So I'd like to, if you could share what your monthly check is, being close to 7.5 in the U.S.
Yeah. So this month, we'll probably. You want to include club?
Yeah, everything, sure.
All right. So far this month, just so far, so 3 weeks into this month, we've made about 11,000 through the club.
No,
I know, man. Get them pumping.
Just for the club alone, 11,000.
Yeah, and our checks have, they've been right around it very often. Last month, I think we did just under 8,000. So we're pushing close to 20,000 coming into this.
Nice. That's awesome. So that brings up a question then. How many services a day are you doing on that 40,000 Volume Point Club?
So we do roughly, transaction-wise, about 95 to 105. Now that's actual transactions. So people probably 120-ish.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And our average sale is usually about $14 to $15. And that's what
really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. How do you get that?
So, we price it at 12. You can check in for 11. We've got special deals with the gym and other people for 10. But everyone, we have these Perlessa donut shots we do. We just add on all throughout the day. And because there's several that come in, like I have a girl who comes in several times a week and who buys 3, 4, 5, 7 at a time with her group of realtors.
Right.
So it kind of spans out, but yeah, our average is really high.
So look, Dan, it sounds like get out in the community, put a smile on your face, be cool, be nice, make the place awesome, make the shakes awesome, and you're going to kick ass. That's what it sounds like.
That's it.
Okay.
Either lift off, do your invites.
So here's a question for you, and I think I know the answer. Would you consider yourself a salesperson or not?
Not at all.
I agree with you, by the way. So I like that, because you don't have to be a salesperson to be successful.
Right. I don't. And so by trade, I was an architect. So I sat at a desk. I didn't really communicate to anybody. If you ever see my before picture, it looked like I stayed by myself. I got a cord dog in my hand. I'm like 230 some pounds, and I'm just fluffy, just there and miserable. But no, it's genuinely a relationship business. So people come in, we just chat, and that's it. Then they tell everybody, man, the place is so great. They walk you through, they make you feel awesome, and that's it.
I love it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, what we're going to do, Jason, we're going to open the floor. If you guys want to, in the chats, put any question that you have, or you can even just chime in and ask Mr. Dolan a question, that'd be great, because he's fired up. I can see it in his eye.
Yeah, got me sweating over here.
He's nervous, I think. No, I don't think so. So any questions, guys? Let's go. We got a superstar who's going to be Prez team when? Make the call. Make the call, Dan.
Here, December.
End of this year. I love it. There's the call.
I have a question.
Okay, me too when you're done.
Oh, go, Christine. Go.
Okay, so my question is, besides the Prolessa donut shots, what else, if anything, is on your menu? Because $11,000 a month just for the club is a shit ton of money. But what's the menu? Is it just the shakes, the tea, and the aloe, and the shots, or do you have other stuff?
So we have it set up, again, try to simplify. So step 1, you pick one of 3 aloes. Step 2, you mix your tea with liftoff. Step 3 is your shake. Then on the side, like we have collagen booster, we do fiber, probiotic, and then the Prolessa, and then we have a fitness side. But 97% of people just get the shake tea aloe, but then they'll either add the Prolessa shot or like a snack bar or something. And it's been so, I mean, we probably sell 3, 4, 5 canisters of Prolessa a week just from the individual shots.
So I think I need to drive across the border and load up because we don't have that here.
Prolessa? Oh, man. That'll change lives out there. So, yeah, I mean, and it could be anything. It's really, what I found is whatever you promote. So, like, kind of a trick of the trade, if whenever we're low on something, we just redirect people as soon as they walk in. Hey, how's your day going? Have you tried our Lappy Tappy? Like, no, let's do it.
Have you
like,
tried a what? Sorry, what was that?
Well, like a different shake. So one of them's Lappy Tappy.
Okay.
But just for an example, like, have you tried our liquid lipo? You know, just something that kind of shoots them off. And they're like, well, no, I never even heard of that. What is it? And we tell them, hey, it's this amount, but it does this. Would you want to try it still? And they usually jump in. I rarely ever have people not say yes.
Cool.
So you can direct them kind of where you want them to go, you know?
Gotcha. So David asks a question. David Mattoon, I think he's from St. Louis. Are there any locations near St. Louis? I don't think there are. I think St. Louis is pretty wide open. Missouri's wide open. What do you think, Dan?
Yeah, I don't know of any. And honestly, with the club model that we've done, aside from Oklahoma and mid-Arkansas, there's really not much of any. I mean, there's a lot of little clubs everywhere, but I wouldn't even be worried about jumping into a spot unless you're within 2 miles that you'd be consumed by somebody else.
I agree with that, by the way, because it's all about your work ethic and about your invites. So that's a good question. Okay,
so I'm going to talk about Missouri.
Oh, the man, the myth, the legend jumps in. Look at that guy.
No, so I've got a guy who has a club in Springfield, Missouri, and I think it's all of Missouri. But man, opening a club there, like, they are insane. They had small businesses suing the cities because they were taking so long to come inspect their place. Took them 9 months to get open. They were ready in 2. They waited 7 months for them to fully finish everything. So those are things also to make sure to be weary of, that the area you're in, like, they're timely and they come and they inspect.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
The nemesis jumps in. I love it. And by the way, for those of you who don't know, Jason was our speaker last weekend. So the Windsor guys, he crushed Montreal. We had the most people ever, by the way, ever at an event. We had over, I think it was like 425 people. We were able to pre-sell the Quinton event. We have about 200 pre-sales coming in May. So thank you, sir. Tatted Prez. Let's see those tattoos, dude. Let's see them.
Yeah.
All right, man. So Victoria, you had a question.
Okay, so I just want to know, what's your opinion on, let's say, a new barista starting, where you tell them, like, okay, you have to do this many flyers, these are the steps you have to take, and they just, like, they're all in, they have the energy, they tell you they're going to do it, and then nothing happens. And I understand, like, it takes time to going to, like, a client to an ambassador and then a coach in Herbalife and now a barista. But what would you do? Would you just fire this person? Would you give them time? Like, at this point, I'm not sure what to do.
Yeah, that's a good question. And that's where we were kind of finding that a lot. And that's the qualification process nixes a lot of that. But if you do, and that's a situation, you could sit down and talk to them and ask, like, what's their intention with this? If they're wanting just a paycheck, figure out what their why is, what's driving them. Because I know whenever we were building, we had fallouts. Tim called me and he was like, y'all have got this going on, but this is lacking, and things like bad stuff was going on. And he asked, what's your why? And I told him, what's my kids? Is this and that? What I thought it was. And he's like, but really, if you were gone, would your kids be okay? And I was like, probably. My mom's here, my stepdad, this and that, whatever. My mother-in-law, father-in-law, all these people. He goes, okay, well, could you set your son up on the counter and say, you're not worth 10 invites today? I was like, oh my gosh, okay. Like facing what I didn't even realize was my why and saying like, you're not worth it today, that's what got me. And man, I tell you, I worked harder than ever after that. So sit down with whoever the person is and figure out if their intention is truly there, because you want business builders in the club. I mean, you can have somebody washing jars and whatnot, and that's awesome, and we need that, especially if you're pumping. But figure out what their true intention is, figure out what their why is, and just the third thing with that is how you can talk to them. Some people, like me, I need a slap in the face. Other people need to be left alone. If they're that kind of person, like take a break for a couple weeks, see if this is for you. And you got to play out the person, Everyone's so different. It's really getting to know who they are and what they want out of it.
All right, awesome question and amazing answer. Okay, let's go. We've got two superstars on this call. We got a Prez team and
Mark,
we got a
there's
future Prez
people
team.
in the convo that are asking.
People in the convo. Let me get to the convo. Okay, what is the ideal, Sonia Fernandez chiming in, what is the ideal square footage and rent in your opinion?
So see that, and then right above it, a few important things, looking for choosing locations. Okay, so when we look square footage wise, I like 800 to 1,500 square feet, so it doesn't have to be massive. I mean, we've got clubs I have personal downline clubs that are huge. Tim's got like a 4,000 square foot one, but ideally, especially new, 800 to 1,500. As far as rent, match that as far as about $10 a square foot. So if you can get in for under $2,000 a month, that's ideal. That way, after overhead and all your bills and things like that, you're looking at maybe $2,500, $3,000 a month, which production wise, you should be able to cover that even on your worst months with your check. And that's how I kind of played out in my head. My first club was I was making about $2,500 a month through my check. So worst case, I know I can get people here. I can cover it, and I can turn people into members from there. So that's kind of number-wise what I look for. Now, location-wise, again, here it's a little bit different. We look for about very median household income, so 40 to 60,000, which you can look up on data websites, demographic websites. And then the reason for that is, so how many people in here have ever had somebody say they can't afford a program?
Yeah, all the time.
Everybody. Okay. So the reason for that is it's a broke mindset. They don't understand it yet, but they'll go spend $10, $15, $20 every single day on food. And so when you're in that type of demographic, they'll come every single day to get to Shake Tialo until they realize I can take this home and save a ton, So now you've got them where they love seeing you, but they also want to take it home. So now they'll do like a half and half, or they'll go all in and still come see you. And it just continues to grow from there. So That's why we look for that kind of demographic.
It's a question, kind of a branch out on that is, do you think this model works better in small towns, big towns, or it doesn't matter?
Population-wise, I don't think it really matters.
I agree.
Because, there's some in Little Rock and Memphis that are 400,000, 500,000, 600,000 people,
Yeah. Okay, so now I agree.
Yeah, I don't think it matters. Ryan Baker told us he likes about 30 to 60,000 typically, but I mean Tim's got a club in Memphis pumping like 80,000 volume, so it's
wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So it doesn't really matter.
What are your club hours, Dan?
I'm there 6:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. and then I have another guy come 2 to 5. He just does evening closeout stuff.
So you do 6:30 to 5, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, question from Dan and Kristen. Can you go over a few important things you look for when choosing a location? I think you spoke about population, you spoke about demographics. What else?
Yeah. Also, if the location was previously salon, ice cream parlor, Starbucks, something that has any type of existing plumbing will save you a ton of headache, ton of money. So that's very crucial. I mean, I'll refuse the spot immediately just for that, because you're looking at 5, 8, 10 grand just to put in plumbing.
What's your startup cost, Dan? Typically.
So this club, I put, including permits and everything, about $14,000.
Oh wow!
Which we got back in 60 days.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. I had a question along the same lines. How important is foot traffic?
I think it's very important. Now, I've seen clubs who don't need it, and those are, like people like Khalil go out and talk all day, and they bring them into their facility and rock it. But it's so much easier with foot traffic. So like now, like at my spot, I can step outside and do an invite to a new person, as opposed to having to drive away from it, find a new person, come back, or have somebody sitting there,
Yeah.
I think foot traffic is really important.
But I'll tell you, look, when Jason was at the same when I was at Ryan Baker's in Zanesville, Ohio, population 35,000, there was no foot traffic around. And this was off the beaten path. And 250 servings a day at this location. It's insane.
It's insane, yeah.
Okay, a couple more questions concerning the menu. Are there new added products? If yes, what is the frequency? So how often do you add new products?
So we haven't changed the menu yet since we've been there. Now, social media, we'll post a new shake, just like a shake flavor every few days or so, just to kind of change it up. And I noticed that every time we do that, people come in and we'll have a dozen or two that get that one shake. So again, like that's pretty simple stuff too. We want to make it very duplicatable. Even the shakes we make, 80% of them are only Herbalife product, so nothing too fancy.
Oh, do you do, by the way, those funky teas, like the colorful tea and all that?
I have at another club, and I think they work they work because people don't understand it and they're exciting, and they're sweet. At this club, I don't touch them, and we don't need to. And I would say more people like the tea than the shakes.
Really?
And it's just tea and lift off. We don't do anything special.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Jen asks a question. What's your conversion rate from what's the question? What's your conversion rate from customer to retail client? What percentage?
Oh, man, that's a good question. I would say we probably have 350 to 450 that come through our club, that are in the city. And in like our last challenge, we have 90 people in there, and it's mostly local people now. I would say right now, because again, we're just kind of trying to get everyone coming through. But I would say at least 60%.
Wow.
Up on product. It's really high. And me and my wife were talking about this today, that seeing how Oklahoma grew. So if y'all are unaware with like Tim Files and Chris Bickerstaff and what they did in Oklahoma, it's unreal. There's almost 300 clubs in a state that's the size of the Metroplex that I live in. And it's just ridiculous. I mean, Ada, Oklahoma, a 30,000 populated city, was the number one producing club in the world.
Wow.
It was doing over 400 shakes a day.
Crazy.
And it was, yeah, so when you have that, people just ask. I mean, we don't really have to do a whole lot more. We just want to keep growing it, so we go at it, go after it. But yeah, I mean, we just today we had a couple more preferred members, a couple more trials go out, and they just come in and ask, and that's where Jason said David's club profited $1 million its first year. A club,
Ooh.
can you imagine that? $1 million in shakes. It's unreal.
Just the club alone. Forget about the Herbalife volume. Wow.
Right. Yeah. So,
all right, awesome. So 60%, I think, Jason, you were at 25, 30%. So Jason has a little bit work to do to catch his downline.
Yeah. He's got the diamonds, though. I'm working on it.
All right, awesome. Guys, let's go. Let's hear some more questions for either one of these guys. I guess Jason's ready to go.
Yeah.
So Dan and Chris, hold on. What's your flow with a new coach to build royalties? So, yeah, how do you basically take a barista and teach them how to build royalties?
And that's why we sat down at the end of this year with a couple of our guys and planned out the entire year of 2019 is mapped out. So anybody new coming in, there's one system, and I've explained to my previous guys the importance of doing one thing, not necessarily your method, but the operation. Because we do a 3-day challenge every Monday. So a new person, you get 3 3-day trial packs in your pack. I don't know if y'all's the same. but we get three-day trial packs in our distributor pack, and we immediately throw them into a 3-day challenge. So we teach them that system, and we just base their growth on the trials. So if you want to hit the next level, get about 10 trials out. Next level, 20 trials. Next level, 40 trials. So you don't really have to break down the marketing plan too much. Then they hit 50%, they're qualified. We convert them into if they want to be a barista, working at the bar or not. And then now they're supervisors getting volume from the club, and they're actively working the club, and they have to go to events. So they learn the Herbalife business. And again, it's organic from there. Now they've got people coming in all day, so they're excited. I've got my guy who only works 3 hours a day, the closer, and he makes $1,700 a month at his full-time job. And last month, working 3 hours a day at my club, he made $2,100.
Wow, that's awesome.
And I'm like, bro, stay there. Like, keep the part-time story is incredible. Don't leave me.
Good.
But I mean, and he's only working 3 hours a day, and we do 80% of the traffic from 6:30 to 2. So we get
say that again.
So from 6:30 to 2, where I'm working it, we get 80% of the total day number one.
6:30 in the morning to 2 in the afternoon, 80% of your traffic.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
Still making $2,000 a month.
Dan, what's your Instagram, by the way?
It's _, and then the Dolans.
_. You're making it hard, huh? The Dolans. The
Dolans. Yeah.
Dolans with an S, right? There you go.
Yeah, it's backwards, but there you go.
I got it. Okay, guys, let's. Dan's been with us for about an hour now, so one last question. We don't want to take too much of his time, but let's have one kick-ass question from Kevin Gunn. You're on the spot, Kevin.
I'd like to. You talked about your menu. I'd like to see that and also like you're mentioning that your average sales is $14 to $15 because you're doing add-ons. But what is you sell just a tea bomb or you're selling a tea, aloe, and shake? So what is your price point for a basic walk-in?
So the full setup is $12 before any kind of discount, and they can get a discount every time they come in. Let me see. I can pull up the menu real quick. People can order just a tea or just a shake, and it comes with the aloe shot anyway. A shake alone is $8. A tea alone is $6. So instead of divvying it up, they can pay a couple dollars more and get the whole setup. And then from there, and we really pushed on the first person. And I always tell them, you don't have to do it, but you're going to feel amazing if you just do the whole setup. But this is what the menus look like. I don't know if you can see that. Wait, there we go.
Hey, Dan, can you do me a favor? Text that to me. Screenshot that and text that to me. It'd be awesome.
Yeah, let me see.
Is that what Jason? Is that the same menu you were showing at our gala? Okay, I do think I have a screenshot of that. Okay,
yeah.
But I'd like to see. It was kind of fuzzy when I took.
Step 2, step 3.
Okay.
That's the biggest thing too is keeping this as quote unquote franchisable as possible. Obviously, the names have to change a little bit, but like in Little Rock, you can go to 70 different clubs who pretty much have the same stuff going on. So it's duplicatable.
It's amazing because our price point, like for a tea, aloe, and shake, is $10, and that's in Canadian, and U.S. dollars are certainly a little richer than ours. So that's an amazing. You've got people willing to spend that. It's cool.
Appreciate it, man. Yeah, I was gonna let me see if I can pull up. So the square. Let me see. I was looking at numbers today. Like today, our average sale was $15.41, and it breaks down. So I only had, let's see, the majority were they did the full setup, and then we had like one prepare, one pre-workout, only 9 shakes by themselves, and only 2 teas by themselves.
Wow!
So the vast majority get the whole setup.
Wow. Dan, I have a question.
Yeah.
Because I can kind of see like where they're wondering, how is it if it's this price, but the average is this, and not everybody's adding Prolesa? So you'll have 2 people on one check.
Yeah.
Or $21 or $22 for one flight. Yeah. So that'll count as one transaction. You see what I'm saying? So that's kind of where it'll be the 15 per
transaction.
Right. Because they're probably wondering, well, if it's 11 with the check-in and not maybe 30% of the people are getting Prolesa, then how is the average at 15?
Yeah.
So then it sounds like Jason and Dan that everybody comes in with a buddy. Like
almost, yeah. I was just gonna say, like, we've got a double membership for 23, another one for 22, another one for 22, a 3-1 for 34, another one for like 22. And it just goes on and on.
Wow. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you've got, like I said, that one lady. We've got, I would say, 15-20% of every transaction is probably 2 or 3, if not 4 or 5 consumption. Like the consumption meaning the shake tea hour, the full setup.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much everybody does the full shake tea aloe lift off.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
like I've never sold just a tea without a lift off at this club, and just that.
Oh yeah, we never do either. But
Yeah.
Mark, remember like when I was showing you got the step 1, step 2, step 3, and
Yeah.
you're explaining it like the very first time they come in, it's like, okay, so this is what you do. Step 1, you decide this, explain what it is so they understand what they're getting. Step 2, choose this. And rarely will they ask, well, can I just do this or can I just do that? Usually it's like what you do, the culture is you do all of it.
Yeah. Right. Gotcha. Okay, cool. Yeah. Gents, it's been an amazing call. Definitely appreciate your time. Does anybody else have a last call to blow this call up? Anybody have a last question? Anybody? Danny LaBreche. Get on there, baby. You're as jacked as those two guys are. You got to talk. Even jacked guys can do this business, Danny. Let's go.
All right, so we're looking to open a club, obviously, as well. How, I guess you said you got your total, like, that you put out back in 60 days. So say, how fast can you expect that your club's profitable when, like, just starting up?
It's really a lot of the pre-footwork that you do. So, like Ryan Baker preaches this all the time. He does 25,000-30,000 flyers before they start. Finding that right spot, the tee drops are crucial. Like we had a buddy just opened one out here about an hour and a half from us, and they had a couple dozen preferred members from the tee drops and 2 distributors before they even opened. The first 10 days they did 107. By the 10th day they did 177 transactions.
Wow.
So their first 6 weeks they grossed $64,000.
Wow.
It's just, yeah, it's all about, man, like, Mark said, the invitations, the pre-work done to really get out there. And if you can start it hot, it'll usually stay hot if your energy's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. So, Dan, any last parting shots before we let you go?
What's up?
Any last parting shots, parting words of wisdom before we let you go?
Man, I just 2019. There's so much momentum in this company that if you do not hop on the wave, you're gonna regret it in 2-3 years. All right, like I've only been in it for 5 years now, 5.5 years, and we came in on the tail end of the 2012, 2011 ridiculous craziness, and last year we popped a new press team every 2.7 days. Whoa. So if you're not on this wave, I mean, you gotta just go hop in. Go the rest of the year, 9 months of just blinders on, full force, and you're gonna pop in. You're gonna change so many lives. It's gonna be ridiculous.
Gentlemen, I appreciate your time. Appreciate everything you've done for us. Nemesis, thank you very much for getting Dan on the call. And look, anything you guys need from us, just definitely don't hesitate to ask, and we're here for you. So, anytime you want to enjoy the city of Montreal, let us know when you want to come up. Basically, Jason's back in August with – who's your speaker, by the way?
Well, so that's the thing. Chris is trying to figure something out, as discussed. And then if he can't, then, Dan, I was going to talk to you about going out there to Montreal.
Heck yeah. Do I got a backflip off stage?
Yeah. Jason did it. All right, gentlemen. Definitely appreciate your time. Thank you guys for everything. And again, don't hesitate to ask if you guys need anything. So thank you very much, gents.
Thank you guys.
Awesome. Have a great night, guys.
You too.